2 times 11 is 22. 2 times 12 is 26.
2 times 12 is what? Before I lash you. Didn't I go through it with you just now?
24.
Good. You can now go to bed. Just as I've been telling you, be of good behavior. I don't want to hear you are in trouble. Am I clear?
Yes, Mama.
Hurry. Buckle your shoe and let's go. Who can mention what I've written on the board?
Madam, please me.
Go ahead.
Dictation.
What? Dictation, not dictation.
Dicka.
That how I earned the name Dicka, the beginning of my anxiety.
So Rena, you will be taking the types of malnutrition. I will start with the introduction, then you will come in with the types of malnutrition.
Why are we all presenting? Let's select one person to present her.
No. We are going by the lecturer's instructions. He said everyone has to present. And marks will be assigned individually based on your performance during the presentation.
I hated speaking in front of crowd, whether big or small. It just makes me feel every kind of way. Most times at school I got away with it cause it was always group presentations and there were people willing to present. I wouldn't even speak if I were spoon-fed or everything is brought to my doorstep. No. I wasn't daft. When it came to exams and tests that is to be written, I did exceptionally well. But this time I had to speak. I couldn't sleep. I read on malnutrition, but just the idea of speaking in front of everyone makes me want to jump out of my skin. I really find some word very difficult to pronounce.
I am Scott, first presenter for Group B, and we are presenting on malnutrition. This is the overview. Malnutrition is.
He is almost done. It getting to my turn.
Our next slide is types of malnutrition, and it will be presented by Rena.
Types of malnutrition. For about 5 minutes, I couldn't speak. My brain was empty. I was shaking. I couldn't recall the explanation for the types of malnutrition.
If you don't present, you won't get any marks and time is not on our side. So Scott, come and take over hers and Lem rate her too. I think I've been fair here. I am supposed to give you 0 on a scale of 20. Is it that you didn't research or what? You see, you are part of those who don't involve themselves in group work. Go and take your seat.
I was so ashamed after that incident. I couldn't keep my head high. It felt like I was the daft person in class. This made me hate class more. I normally skip class. This really affected my grades, because I only learned my slides and the extra things said outside the slides, and during presentation I missed. People who noted some of them down were my savior. It affected my grades though, but I managed to graduate with a pass. Indoors I could do a lot of things. I was endowed with skills/creativity and innovation. I could easily shine on the country reputable companies. I was so scared to speak, sell my ideas, and make people see my beautiful mind. Anxiety and fear won't let me be great. For me to get a job I had to be interviewed. That meant speaking in front of people. I ask myself, what if I go and mess up? I am not good enough. Life came to a standstill. I was just stuck. I needed money. I couldn't be there like that, and the pressure from family to get something doing was immense. Peers were conquering every area and I was just there, fearing to come out of my comfort zone. During senior high school days, we used to read a lot. The Mills and Boons, Harlequin among others, and realizes that I flowed a bit during those times. We read books just to be entertained, the juicy details and all. It wasn't for learning purposes, but it played a role in improving our speech. One day I stood up and I was like, enough is enough. I am stepping out of my comfort zone. I started reading books just to have enough words and enough ways of expressing myself. Mind you, if you just learn a language and you don't read a lot, you are limited to the basics. Reading a lot gives you different ways of expressing yourself, and if a particular word isn't coming to mind, you could use its synonym to avoid stammering or getting stuck when talking, and reading gives easy ways of expressing oneself. I realized just the English isn't enough when you had to speak or present in front of everyone. You have to rehearse as many times as you can till you can rattle like no one's business. Just don't think on impressing anyone. Just present your information. Don't try to speak like others. For instance, someone spoke very fast in a presentation and it was so cool to you. Just speak at your normal speed and make sure you understand the topic. That's how I became very successful. I stopped thinking of what people will say, started applying for every vacancy I came across. Those I used to think were higher, I applied. I went for interview upon interview. I was finally picked by one and started making some money. Just know that everything is learnable. If you set your mind to do something, just do it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes perfect you. I am one of the best because I never cease to learn. People often stop learning when they get the basics of a skill or knowledge, or they become pro at what they do. A quick advice: as days pass by, new ways of doing things emerges. Updating yourself put you on top of the game. I hope you learn a thing or two from my story. Go out there and be great.